Howdy. What's that look for? What's the matter?
This is the look that I give you now.
I see. You gonna say something or?
No, I want to see if I can be able to stare a hole through you. It's possible.
I think if you try hard enough, anything is possible.
No, I don't believe in that nonsense. That's like, no, I'm not going to touch that.
What? You don't believe in that?
I'm not going to touch that. I was going to go ahead and say something about religion, but I'm not going to touch that. I'm not going to touch that.
Yeah.
Not going to touch it, man.
Where the hell's
Mike
Matt?
Guido, all even live. Mike, do we have I don't want to say, do we have a guest today, or is it?
It's not really.
What do you want to call it? Like I don't know. I don't know what kind of title you want to put on it, because I'm not a man of titles. So I'll let you do the titling, if that's a word.
We have a subordinate.
Subordinate? I'm not going to use that word. See, when Matt gets in here, I'm going to make sure I tell him what you said.
I bet he's in here.
Yeah,
he said he began watching, and he's trying to get in there.
He just requested to came up, man. So let's see what's going on.
I want to see how this looks.
It's not gonna look as great, honestly.
No. Oh dear God! Look how small I am.
That's impossible.
That's what she said.
That's impossible. It's impossible.
I heard what you said, tough guy. So
yeah.
Yo, Matt. So you're gonna get another 5 demerits now?
Why is that?
What's going on with that head, man?
I'm gonna stop coming to these things if my hair is the jump start conversation topic.
It really is. Like every single week, every day we talk about Matt's hair.
Yo, because it's ridiculous.
That's cool. Listen, I could come in here and immediately start attacking your physical attributes. Would you like that? Would you like that?
Yeah, his dirty, smelly beard.
That Matt can't grow. That Matt can't grow that patchy beard that he has over there.
Right, we're off to a great start here. This is gonna be fun. I missed the IG lives. I missed this. The
daily disrespect.
The daily berating. Like I'm not insecure enough.
Our boy Vinny Mutone is giving you crap in the comments right now.
Exactly. Look at the top of his head. Like, what is going on there? What is up, man? Listen, Matt, I'm going to need you to come get one of these dad hats, okay? It's specifically for you. I
told you they're clean. I'm liking it.
Yeah, well, it's going to be a requirement going forward on these lives, okay?
That's what I'm starting to think. Maybe there's some ulterior motive here, other than just simple brand marketing. If you make
I'm pushing it too much, right?
Right. It's a safety measure now. That's cool.
All Even Live. I am Barry Gregg Jr., host of the All Even podcast. Down at the bottom, we have Mike Guido, host of Guido's Gridiron Blitz, and welcome to the show is our boy, our number one man, Matt Catarazzolo. How you doing, man? Welcome to the show, bud.
I'm doing just great.
Listen, that's not the energy that we have on All Even Live. You're going to have to fix that. You're going to have to fix that.
Well, I mean, what do you expect? I mean, we called him a subordinate. We said his hair was stupid. So within the first 3 minutes.
Listen, I did not call him that. I didn't go that far. You went there.
Yeah, I did. I called him subordinate. You made fun of his hair. We're both guilty.
Nah, you can't put me in the same box. You can't do that.
What about Matt? Who made fun of your hair? Me or Barry?
I mean, you both kind of did.
I didn't say anything.
All right, so who's worse? Who's worse?
Who's worse? Why does one have to be better? Why does one have to be better than the other?
Because that's how life works. Oh, shout out to Brock. What's going on, man? All right, so let's get into this, fellas. I want to talk about Drew Brees' retirement. What are your thoughts on Drew Brees finally hanging it up? And what are your thoughts on where the Saints go from here? Because they just locked up Jameis Winston for a year. They still have what's my man's name? Taysom Hill. So who is going to be the starter going forward? But before that, we got to mention about Drew Brees.
You go first, Matt. You're the subordinate.
I feel like if I don't set some ground rules first, I'm gonna get frustrated.
It's the first day of hazing. It won't continue, man. I promise.
It's not the first day at all. We've been meeting. Whatever, forget it. So
hey, listen. Don't air out business here. Okay?
Whatever. Listen, in terms of the state of the New Orleans Saints right now, I'm not so concerned with Drew Brees retiring. I'm concerned with the succession plan and what they're going to do moving forward. So far in free agency, they've lost. They're cutting players across the board. Whether it's to free up cap space, they've lost Trey Hendrickson, Janoris Jenkins. There's people that are leaving here. Meanwhile, Tampa Bay in the division has retained pretty much everybody that they had last year when they won the Super Bowl.
Right.
So right now, whether it's Jameis Winston, whether it's Taysom Hill, to be quite honest, I feel a lot worse today about the New Orleans Saints than I did a couple of days ago. Having said that, are they going to still be competitive in the division? Sure, because they have a well-rounded roster. They have a great coaching staff. They still have weapons on the offense, and they still have a pretty well-rounded defense. But in the same breath, think about what other teams in that division are going to end up doing. If Carolina gets a quarterback, whether it's through the draft, they're going to be a lot better. Atlanta restructured Matt Ryan's contract, so they could make some moves in the draft, whether it's trading back. So right now, they're the team that I'm least high on, at least in their own division. So, I mean, that's what I think. I think.
Yeah, I think they're due for regression, right? Like they're definitely due for regression, but because they're going to move forward with Jameis Winston, and I think potentially the upside with that could be pretty insane because Jameis Winston can really play, and
right.
If you go back all the way to 2005 when Drew Brees was a free agent, he went to the New Orleans Saints. Drew Brees was.
There was a lot of question
marks. The Chargers let him go. Like it wasn't like he was damaged goods. He wasn't who he was. He wasn't even close to who he was as a Saint when he was in San Diego. So
they had no faith in him. You're right. Yeah,
they didn't. And immediately after that, they put up Phillip Rivers, and there you go. That's where that history started.
Right.
But Sean Payton can do a lot with guys that he really feels are talented, and I think he does feel that way about Jameis, and he should, because Jameis is a good arm. He's not a statue. He can move around a little bit, and in the past, what he's shown in his career is he can be productive. So I think this could still be a pretty high volume offense if Jameis Winston can, keep from turning the ball over. Like that was his big thing. As long as he can, cut down on the interceptions, then I think their offense is still going to be pretty good. So I don't think the Saints are going to collapse completely, but this is Tampa Bay's division now. It just is. Tampa Bay's got the best roster in the division. They might have the best roster in the entire NFL. And they're coming off a Super Bowl win. And, Tom Brady's Tom Brady, and it drives me freaking nuts, but whatever. As far as Drew Brees is concerned, I think Drew Brees is easily, in my mind, a top 3 quarterback to ever live.
Wow.
Easily a top 3 quarterback to ever live. Just listen to some of these numbers that he has. Okay, he has 80,358 passing yards. That's the most in NFL history. He has the most completions in NFL history with 7,142. He has the most consecutive games with a touchdown pass in NFL history. He threw for a touchdown pass in 54 games. The next closest is Johnny Unitas with 47. Okay. He's tied for the most passing touchdowns in a game with 7. He's had a game where he's had 7 passing touchdowns. He's had 7 games with 5 touchdown passes and 0 interceptions. He's had 7 times Drew Brees led the NFL in passing yards, 571 passing touchdowns. He's the only player in NFL history with consecutive 40-plus touchdown seasons. He's tied with Brett Favre and Peyton Manning for consecutive seasons with 35-plus touchdown seasons. He had 3 of those. He's had consecutive seasons with 30-plus touchdown passes. That's 9. 10 30-plus passing touchdown seasons. He's had 11 5-plus pass touchdown games and 37 4-plus touchdown games. So these are just some of the stuff that he was able to do as a passer. He has a 67, almost a 68% career completion percentage. He has 4 of the top 5 single-season completion percentages in NFL history. Look, statistically, you're going to be really hard-pressed to find another player as dominant as Drew Brees was in that category. I just don't, and from the leadership perspective and everything like that, easily top 3. Brady, Manning, Drew Brees, they're my top 3.
Well, I mean, listen, if you're going to go from a statistical standpoint, it's numbers. But in this era, man, it was a pass-happy era. I'm not going to say that Drew Brees is top 3 all time. Is he top 10? Absolutely. But I can't go top 3, bro. That's just like you've named 3 quarterbacks in the same generation as the 3 greatest quarterbacks to ever live. That to me is just a little.
So who would you put ahead of him?
I would put, like I said, I think Elway was a better quarterback. Elway did more with less. Drew Brees, if you're going to look at numbers, he has 1 Super Bowl ring. He led 1 team to the Super Bowl once. John Elway did it 5 times.
So what?
So, it leadership, if the numbers, if they were in a passing generation or era, Elway's numbers would be higher. Favre's numbers would be higher. A lot of guys' numbers would be higher. So I'm gonna take it as the era was great, but to have all 3 of them, 1, 2, and 3, I can't meet you there. I don't know. I don't know how Matt feels about that. You guys are 2 young guys, so I understand it, but I can't.
The 3 of the guys that I just mentioned, are the greatest at a particular thing ever at their own position. Okay, Brady is the winningest player ever. Peyton Manning is the smartest player ever, and Drew Brees is the most accurate player ever. And to be honest, it really isn't particularly close for any of them. I mean, you're never going to find a guy who can pinpoint a football better than Drew Brees. You're not.
Yeah,
the only reason that people are going to tell me that Drew Brees isn't top 3 is because he's won 1 Super Bowl.
Look, fan podcast say you tripping. He say you tripping.
Tell fan podcast get his ass in here.
Came up.
Yo,
JJ came up, son. John, get in here, bro. Get in here. Came up.
Yeah.
I need to hear why you say no and what's your argument, man. So came up. Let's go.
Winning to me is subjective.
Huh?
Winning to me is very subjective in the NFL. Every single year you have half the teams that make the playoffs that didn't make the playoffs the previous year.
I'm with you. Okay, you say you're working. All right, cool. So I mean, listen, I'm definitely gonna agree with you in regards to the winning thing. I think a lot of people over the last 20 years or so has seen what Brady has done, and they've kind of pigeonholed that, right? Well, if you're not doing what he's doing, then you're not great. Like there's different levels of it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
There's different levels of greatness. So I understand what you're saying. Like, I get your argument. It's a solid argument that you're making. I just don't particularly agree with your argument. So, I'm not gonna.
Also, I will say this too. Yeah. When Drew Brees got to New Orleans, the Saints couldn't win a raffle. Like
they were a terrible franchise.
They lost so much as a franchise.
Right.
And Drew Brees completely recreated the identity of what the New Orleans Saints were.
Now, here's a question for you. This for both of you guys. I guess I'll throw it to Matt first. Do you think that Drew Brees' success has been solely because of Sean Payton? Because that's the only coach that he's had in New Orleans. So when you kind of pair his success with the system that Sean Payton has put out there, do you kind of look at that as it being like synonymous? Like is it a symbiotic relationship? Whereas Drew Brees, would he be able to do that without Sean Payton? What are your thoughts on that, Matt?
Solely? No, absolutely not. And you can look at what happened. You can look at the Brady-Belichick relationship, and you can make the same argument. But it's not until the two separated that we actually had our answer. Now, they never separated. Brees just retired. But, I mean, can you coach someone who has a career 67.7 completion percentage? Probably not. But does it help with roster construction? Does it help with game planning? Does it help with scheming? Of course. But coaching can only go so far. I'm not someone who buys into the philosophy that a coach can make a player, they can mold and develop, but there has to be some sort of basis of talent that is there that can be executed on the field solely through that talent. And I think Brees is an example of that. So I'm not saying I don't think that Sean Payton made or broke Drew Brees, and I don't think Drew Brees would have been a bad quarterback if Sean Payton was not his coach his whole career.
Okay,
so,
but
yeah, I agree.
But
no, I'm not going to say solely.
Would he have been? I mean, obviously, it's all hypothetical. We're talking right now, so it's not based on any fact. But can we honestly say that Drew Brees would have been this Drew Brees had he not gone to New Orleans with Sean Payton?
Probably not. But but you got to look back at history, Barry. I mean, look, almost every single great quarterback that has ever played in the NFL has had a great coach. Great.
100%.
Okay.
Yeah.
Brady had Belichick. Joe Montana had Bill Walsh. Dan Marino had Don Shula. Like Terry Bradshaw had oh my God. What the hell's wrong with me? Chuck Noll.
Yeah.
But every great quarterback has had a great coach. Now, I agree with Matt completely. Do I think that Sean Payton is solely responsible for the success of Drew Brees? No, I don't. But I do think that does play a role. Of course it does. It plays a role for everybody. Okay? Tony Dungy played a role for Peyton Manning. Okay? Bill Belichick played a role for Tom Brady. Like, they all do. They all do. It's just, that's the way that it is. I don't think that you can mold, however, and this is the same in all of these different arguments, I don't think you can mold a scrub into a Hall of Famer. I don't think you can do it. I think there's got to be.
You have to have some talent. That goes without saying. Of course, you can't take a bum and make him into
of a potential Hall of Famer. Drew Brees was, again, had a great head on his shoulders, great leadership skills. He was always pretty accurate. I mean, the guy was never, a liability throwing the football. I mean, early in his career, he had some turnover problems and everything like that, but a lot of rookies do.
Well, so, I mean, he had to because he wasn't a big guy. He didn't have the big plus arm, so he had to be accurate. Had to be.
Right. Yeah. And he was the most, I mean, Barry, in 2018, I mean, his completion percentage was 74.4%. 74.4.
So he's
that's the most accurate season of all time.
3 out of 4 passes.
I mean, that's insane. If you do that in college, you're a Heisman favorite, right? Like we freak out because college guys, which it happens more commonly in college.
Yes.
Right? Mac Jones had a completion percentage this year of 77%. Joe Burrow last year at LSU had a 76% completion percentage. Like, it's way more common. 74. Okay, the last 5 years of Drew Brees' career, he had a completion percentage over 70%. I mean, it just speaks to, and you also have to keep in mind, too, Drew Brees, for the most part of while he was in New Orleans, his defenses were historically bad. They were bad. And keep this in mind, too. Michael Thomas might be the best wide receiver he's ever played with. Yeah. Michael Thomas has been in the league for about 3 minutes. I'm just saying, there's a lot of, it's not like Drew Brees was given everything. Drew Brees had to fight through a lot too.
He's had some talent there. Let's not,
Like what? Like what? What out of, okay. I mean, serious talent.
Jimmy Graham?
Reggie Bush?
Like, are you fucking high?
No, what do you mean am I high?
Marcus Colston was a pretty good receiver.
Marcus Colston was a top 5 receiver for like 4 years. What are you talking about?
Robert Meacham wasn't a scrub.
Robert Meacham? Like, the list goes on, bro. What do we, Matt, please tell him. What are we talking about here?
Marcus, wait. Marcus Colston never made a Pro Bowl.
That he was still good.
Marcus Colston went to Hofstra.
I'm not saying he sucked, Barry. I'm saying that he top 5 receiver.
Top 5 to me.
Top 5 receiver. Like, the guy caught more than 10 touchdowns twice in his career.
What does that mean?
Marcus Colston. Which means he was good. He wasn't great.
He was very, very good for the.
He a Hall of Famer?
No.
Hall of Famer.
No.
Okay. All right.
That doesn't mean that he wasn't a good player. Just because you're not a Hall of Famer doesn't mean you're not a good player.
I also never said that he didn't have anything. I just said he wasn't given Hall of Fame talent.
Jimmy Graham is not a Hall of Famer?
No. Jimmy Graham.
Hold on.
Jimmy Graham had like 3 good seasons.
Matt, I need you to chime in on this. For the years that Jimmy Graham was dominating football as the best tight end in the game, that's not enough for him to be a borderline Hall of Famer?
I need to look at Graham's numbers from when he was in New Orleans.
Bro, Jimmy Graham had 2 seasons. 2. That's it. 2 seasons where he caught for over 1,000 yards. 2.
But at that time, tight ends weren't doing that.
Barry was 2011.
They weren't doing it.
It's not ancient history.
That's a decade ago, bro.
Okay. Jimmy Graham had 2 incredibly good seasons. Okay? 2011 and 2013, he had 2 incredibly good seasons. But again, he's a one-time All-Pro. Like, once. That's it. That's all Jimmy Graham's got. That's all Jimmy Graham has. Not a Hall of Famer.
Dominant.
For 3 years, Jimmy Graham was really, really good.
Dominant.
Jimmy Graham has not been a formidable player in the NFL, a formidable force in the NFL for 6 years. For 6 years.
Jimmy Graham changed the way.
Terrible. Chicago
changed the pay scale for tight ends. You know that.
Marcus Colston did have. Marcus Colston had over 1,000 yards.
Barry, it's not debatable.
6 out of his first 7 seasons.
Thank you, Matt.
That's no scrub. That's a wide receiver. That's a legitimate wide receiver 1.
That's a legitimate wide receiver.
Say that again.
Marcus
Colston, 6 of his first 7 years.
Marcus Colston,
1,000 yards.
6 of his first 7 years had over 1,000 yards, except for 2008 where he was hurt.
And Matt, remember.
Then why didn't he make a Pro Bowl?
Hold on. Wait. Because there's a lot of good receivers in the league. Matt, remember, a decade ago, doing that was impressive. If somebody does that now, nobody gives a shit. But 10 years ago, Marcus Colston was a legit wide receiver in the NFL.
But try to think in that time period though for NFC Pro Bowl caliber receivers from not even that time. So from 2006 to 2012, let's call that Marcus Colston's prime. So from 2006 to 2012, or through the 2012 season, think about the other receivers in the NFC that were better and more deserving of Pro Bowl spots.
Terrell Owens.
Ocho Cinco.
Ocho Cinco
was in Cincinnati until...
Well, that's AFC. Who was in the NFC at that time?
That's what I'm trying to remember.
Larry Fitz.
Larry Fitz.
Mm-hmm. Not Calvin Johnson.
Look,
AFC.
all I'm saying is, okay, there is not a single player that I can remember Drew Brees playing with in New Orleans that is a Hall of Famer on the offensive side of the football. Not including offensive line, not including defense, running back, wide receiver, tight ends. He hasn't played with a Hall of Famer or even anybody that's close to deserving. Okay, Reggie Bush, when he was in New Orleans, was a bust. He was a bust.
Oh, I'm sorry. Donald Driver and Torrey Holt also.
There you go.
Names. So yeah, he's not better. He's not better than those guys, but Colston was certainly not a nobody.
I didn't say he was a nobody. I said he wasn't handed. I said he wasn't handed amazing talent.
Megatron was out there too, Matt.
There we go.
Guys, I said he wasn't handed amazing talent. Okay? You guys use Reggie Bush in your argument. His best season in New Orleans, he ran for 581 yards.
What we're trying to say to you is that Marcus Colston wasn't chopped potatoes. Okay?
I didn't say he was.
Yeah, but not even necessary. We're not even talking about amazing talent. We're talking about talent that's good enough to necessarily be competitive, and that's certainly what he worked with for a number of years.
A number of years. There was never a year like
solid talent.
Can you admit to this? Can you admit to this, Mike? There was never a year in New Orleans that Drew Brees didn't have legitimate talent. There was not he didn't have Hall of Fame talent like you're saying. I think high-level talent, and that's why
I'd have to look specifically at the rosters, but
what I will say though about Drew Brees is that since Camaro was drafted in whatever it was 2017, from up until the time he retired, this has been the best collection of talent that he has played with.
Agreed.
I don't think that's not a stretch.
Clutch, stop. With the Reggie fit with the Saints did. Reggie sucked. Reggie Bush was a scrub.
All right, hold on. We're going to came up. Yo, what's up, man? Came up.
An absolute scrub, Reggie Bush.
Nah, he was, listen, I'm going to agree with you there, Mike. He was a bust.
New Orleans.
He was a bust with the Saints.
Reggie Bush in New Orleans was legit smelly trash.
He got his bust. He got his bust with the Dolphins. What's up, guys? What's up, Ryan Flowers? What's up, man? Came on. What's up, man?
Hey, I love listening to you guys today, man. I love listening to you guys. It's good stuff, man. But I just Guido, like, I feel what you're saying. You're right. There's some points that you make. Like, was Reggie Bush like a real super talented guy? No, but I think he fit what the Saints did. You know, as far as his
he was a good satellite back.
Right. You know, he was like he's like what we call Christian McCaffrey today. He can line him up in the slot. He does punt return, kick return, stuff like that. As far as the wide receiver, Marcus Colston was legit.
Legit.
I agree. I said he was good.
He's legit. But Drew did benefit, I think, primarily through the coaching. Sean Payton is one of the greatest coaches we've ever seen.
That's what I'm saying. Like, I think people are really downplaying the impact that Sean Payton had over this organization. Like, listen, all I'm gonna say is this: we're gonna see how Jameis Winston responds to that.
Right.
Because
that's what I'm saying.
Anybody that can be able to get through to that talent is Sean Payton.
Right.
And if he unlocks Jameis Winston, Sean Payton is the GOAT.
I agree. But the GOAT.
No, the GOAT. What I mean is that, like,
wait a minute.
What I mean is that, like, quarterback whisperer. Like, he can be able to really get talent, mold that talent, and push them to where they probably wouldn't have went if they went somewhere else. Like,
I don't know.
I
don't know. I think you have kind of a case, but I think Bill Walsh would probably have something to say about that, right?
Yeah. Because he's got two guys that won two Super Bowls, you know, with Bill Walsh.
Right, but all right. So if Sean Payton gets to a Super Bowl with Jameis and they win,
then we can talk.
Hey, look. Here's the thing, though. Okay,
and we said this at the beginning. Project. You know what I'm saying? Like, think about that.
Jameis can play.
Yeah.
Right. Wait, everybody knows that Jameis can play. Jameis could play in Tampa Bay. It's just he, threw the ball to the other team too many times. that was Jameis' problem.
Jameis lets it fly. I love him for that. I love him for that.
He's a risk taker. He's more of a risk taker than Drew Brees is. So that might serve for a benefit. Who knows?
Yeah.
It could be.
Yeah, I agree.
What do you think, Matt? You think Jameis in New Orleans can work out?
I think it could. Do I think it's going to? I don't think so.
Don't be so
Why not?
negative. You're a Daniel Jones fan. Make me sick.
Never once have I expressed unlimited, undoubted faith in Daniel Jones. I've been skeptical of Daniel Jones just like every other Giant fan since the day he was drafted. Since the day he was overdrafted.
That is very true.
So hold on. So, all right, man. Let me ask you this. Did you want Darnold over Daniel Jones?
No, I wanted Saquon in that draft, like a short.
Not the same draft.
Like a short.
I know. But a lot of Giants fans were mad that they did not go get Sam Darnold.
Didn't take Sam Darnold over Saquon Barkley.
Right. A lot of Giants fans were mad. I have like 10 Giants fans that are still mad to this day that they took Saquon.
Listen, the 2018 draft was strange. No one expected Baker to be the number 1 overall pick, and I didn't want him to be a Giant either. Was I expecting the Giants to draft a quarterback? No, and they didn't because Gettleman. I see now you got me going. So Gettleman claimed that they could win now. Not soon after he declared that they were in a rebuild, while still doubling down on the fact that they could win. Right? There's nothing flawed with that philosophy, right? You could totally win while rebuilding. We've seen it a dozen times. Wait. No, we haven't. You know why? Because it's impossible. You cannot win while you're rebuilding if you don't do it the correct way. See Miami, see Arizona. But that's a different topic. No. Was I clamoring for them to take Darnold? Eli was certainly on the downturn, especially after the 2016 season ended. So was it time to draft someone else? Probably, yeah, but they went in a different direction and drafted Barkley because they thought giving him a dynamic weapon in their most lacking offensive area, which was rushing the football, that could propel them to be a competitive football team. Spoiler alert, it didn't. So they were forced to overdraft for Jones on the endorsement from guys like Dave Cutcliffe from the Manning brothers. So they've now had 2 seasons of Jones where you still really don't know what you have there. There's potential, there's been flashes, but it's still really a mystery. That's why this year is a make or break for him. And if Daniel Jones fails, Gettleman should be out the door.
Listen, Matt, I'm going to tell you this right now. Going forward, I'm going to call it the Matt rant. So I'm just going to ask you something, and I'm just going to sit here and listen because it's very entertaining to see that you're very stressed about your Giants. So, I'm just going to throw out.
I'm rooting for his success. No part of me wants to see him fail. Obviously, he's a very likable kid. He says the right things. He's got a great attitude. He's a great athlete. I think he has a lot of underrated traits. So I do think he has the potential to be a good quarterback in the league.
Small hands, though.
Okay, sure. But if you find out anything else about what the Giants are trying to do with the roster that they have right now.
Hold the football like this.
Well, that's been his problem.
Hey, Barry, look, when you got small hands, it makes a lot of things look bigger when you hold them.
Come on, man.
I can attest. I got short fingers.
All right, switching gears. I don't want to have Matt, passing out right now with anger. Mm-hmm. What do you guys think about NFL free agency? Who are the winners? Who are the losers? I can tell you my winner right now. It is Palpatine. Bill Belichick lives. He lives. The New England Patriots, I'm not saying that they're going to win the division. I'm not saying that they're going to get to the Super Bowl. But this is a team last season that finished 7-9. The defense wasn't that bad. They had terrible skill positions on the offensive side of the ball. They've corrected those things. They've addressed those things. We all know that Cam Newton probably cost them about 4 games individually. So if you kind of split the baby, where do they go? 9-7, like 10-6, 11-5 if they win those 4 games. So let's not everybody wants to talk about Brady did this and Brady did that. Okay, cool. It worked out for Brady and Tampa Bay. But Bill Belichick and the Patriots did not have a terrible season.
No.
I can only see them going up from here. What are your thoughts on that, guys?
Well, look, I think New England has done well, but I don't think that they've changed a whole lot. Like Nelson Aguilar is a fine player. Kendrick Bourne is a nice player. They've brought in some pretty decent guys, but
like the tight ends, Mike.
Yeah, no, Hunter Henry and Jonnu Smith and guys like that, like they're good players. But, I don't think New England has made a completely like tide shifting move. Like they just haven't.
Well, here's my point. I'll interject and I'll let you finish. The reason why I disagree with that point is that Bill Belichick is a tight end guy. His offenses run through tight ends. Right. He was very comfortable in the Aaron Hernandez Gronk situation where he had two studs that can be able to go get the football. You now have that to a lesser degree. I'm not calling Hunter Henry and Jonnu Smith Gronk and Hernandez, but these two guys are talented guys that if Hunter Henry stays healthy, they can really have something special here. They can have something that you don't want to see on a Sunday in regards to matchups.
I think the Patriots only had one reception for a touchdown from a tight end. Right. That's it. So
they're going to run the football. They're going to run in the league in regards to their tight end position.
Right. Worse. I think they're going to run the football a lot this year. You see the moves that they're making with their linemen. Cam Newton, obviously, I think he'll be the tip of the spear with their run game. And we forget, really I think, what week was that when they played Seattle? Was that like week 3, week 4, or something like that? It was a Sunday night game, a game that they actually should have won, but they didn't. And then right after that, I think he got COVID. He was out like 2 or 3 weeks. Those are games that they probably should have won if he was probably there. And then you talk about Cam losing that Buffalo Bills game where he fumbled late in the end. I think the Patriots are going to make the playoffs, and they might even – this might sound like a hot take, but they might be good enough to win the AFC East again, man.
It's possible. It's possible.
And think about – they're getting a lot of their guys back who opted out on defense.
Right. Yes.
So I think Belichick is a great coach, obviously, and I think he's going to have them ready to go. I mean, I won't be surprised if they don't win the division. If they win it, it's going to be like, okay, I'm not that surprised. Because Buffalo was good, but I think I'm not sold yet on McDermott and Jared Allen yet. Or excuse me, Josh Allen. So
yeah, go ahead, Mike. Finish your point.
Well, sorry. I mean, look, I don't know if the Belichick, Patriot offense runs through tight ends necessarily. I think it works better when they have solid tight ends. I don't necessarily think that it requires good tight ends, though. I just don't. No, I think, if they have a solid running game, they've got solid perimeter players, and they get good quarterback play, I think they're going to be fine. And that's really going to be the testament of what's going to equal a successful season next year for New England is, none of these moves are going to matter unless Cam Newton plays good football, which last year he didn't. Period. Cam Newton was he was an abomination to the quarterback position last year. He was terrible. He was bad. So I think if they get better quarterback play, whether it's from Cam Newton or whether they draft some kid or whether they, go out and get Sam Darnold or I don't know, something like that. If they get some sort of decent quarterback play, then I agree with you, Ryan. I think that they could win the division, and I think if they get to the playoffs, they could win a playoff game. Again, it depends on if they get the good quarterback play. So, they're getting a lot of guys back, but again, it's getting to be a tougher division. Buffalo's really good. Miami's growing. I think the Jets get better next year. I agree. It's going to be a little bit of a better division. I don't know, Matt. What do you think?
I don't care about anything that you're saying right now because Ian Rappaport just tweeted that the Giants and Kenny Golladay have mutual interest, and they're expected to bring him in for a visit prior to signing for a deal. There's mutual interest. This is Ian Rappaport. There's mutual interest. It's happening. It's going to happen.
You see, listen, there are rules. There are rules to this show, sir. And when we ask you a question, you answer it in a timely fashion. Okay?
Yeah, whatever. That's awesome. The Giants are going to sign Kenny Golladay. Nothing what you're saying right now could wipe this smile off my face.
Six a million just told you that the Giants aren't going nowhere, bro.
All right, Matt. Patriots, go.
Right, yeah, anyway, okay, so listen, I don't think any of the free agent acquisitions that they made are going to impact them as much as them losing Joe Thuney. Now, them losing Joe Thuney was a really big deal because a lot of people had Joe Thuney as the number one free agent of this entire class at any position. So he goes to Kansas City, gets a massive deal, 28-year-old all-pro guard, great, he's going to win a bunch of games in Kansas City and give Patrick Mahomes much needed protection, especially after they cut Fisher and Schwartz. So that fills a big need for them. Tooney gets a much needed payday. Now, is signing a bunch of good, because they're not mediocre weapons that the Patriots added. I really like the Kendrick Bourne signing. I think that's a really underrated signing. Johnny Smith, speed. Yeah, exactly. The Johnny Smith and Hunter Henry signings were obviously really, really well. I thought that Hunter Henry was actually going to be someone that the Giants had their eye on. So, and they also traded to get Trent Brown back. So these are a lot of moves that I really like. And as was mentioned before, they're getting Dante Hightower back, who opted out last year. They're going to get Patrick Chung back, who opted out last year. I know they placed I think it's a second-round tender on J.C. Jackson.
Yeah.
So they're making a lot of I really like what they've been able to do. They went on a spending frenzy in free agency so far.
Loved it.
So, I mean, with they hold the 15th overall pick right now, I believe. So whatever they decide to do with that is going to be another additional piece, whether they trade it back to acquire more capital, collect more assets, whatever. So Patriots could not even be done, making the rest of their moves before the start of next season.
Yeah.
But
right.
It's all reliant on Cam and his performance. It's Cam's health, Cam being able to produce more. Because in 15 games last year, he threw 8 touchdowns. 8 touchdowns in 15 games, right? So he was atrocious last year. It's really not even close. So, but listen, the New England system has worked for 20 years. I believe in it. Everyone should believe in it. So with their pieces this year that have massively upgraded the roster that they were playing with last year, which got them a 7-9 record, it's almost inevitable that they're going to be at least 1 or 2 games better. But you got to also think about this. Buffalo is the team to beat in that division right now. The Jets are going to get a lot better. They had 2 really nice free agency signings. Miami has a high draft pick. We'll see what they do with that. Pickup. Carl Lawson was a good pickup. I really like the Corey Davis pick a lot. So that division can look for a lot of change come next year. The AFC East could look very different come next year. But overall, I thought that I was really surprised at the aggressive approach that New England came. I don't think it was foreseen by anyone, but listen, they made moves, so they're obviously going to try and take it somewhere.
Right.
Now, Ryan, what are the other winners in free agency in your opinion?
I mean, I'm not a big fan of free agency, so I'm going to put that out there because it's a bunch of dudes that are going to be getting overpaid, I think, a lot. And we've seen that historically that teams that go out and spend a lot of money it doesn't really result in wins. But if I had to pick another team right now, just off the top of my head, I think Tampa Bay. I mean, I know they didn't sign anybody new, but they kept
all their guys. Yeah.
They kept majority of their guys from a Super Bowl winning team.
Right.
So I think that's huge. I mean, the way they were able to pretty much keep that defense intact. I think they're still debating on whether or not they're going to keep Sue, or maybe they go into the draft and maybe draft a talented defensive lineman unless Sue decides he wants to renegotiate. But I think Tampa probably is the second best winner out of all the free agency signings. I know it's still early. I know my Cowboys ain't done nothing yet and probably won't do anything. That's
Cowboys.
typical. Our Cowboys. That's right. That's right. So, but I mean, yeah, I think Tampa. But but other than that, I'm not too big on like all these other teams signing. Like Arizona signed, I think AJ Green today. Is that right?
Yeah.
So, is that going to help them win a Super Bowl? Probably not.
Low risk, high reward type of deal, man.
Right type of deal. So, other than that, I think I only got Tampa, man. But
what are your thoughts, Mike? What are other winners in free agency in your opinion? Like besides the Pats and the Bucks.
Well, yeah, the Buccaneers are definitely a winner, but I was going to say the Arizona Cardinals because not only did they get AJ Green today, but they got JJ Watt 2 weeks ago.
Oh,
so
yeah.
I think that's a big one that we should really be looking out for. Now, do I think that Arizona is competing for a Super Bowl? Probably not. But again, the NFL tides shift. Like they go anywhere. So it is possible. And I think that they are setting themselves up for a season where they could potentially make some sort of a run. Because you got to keep in mind, too, DeAndre Hopkins is the clear number one receiver over there. A.J. Green is not a scrub. Okay?
No.
A.J. Green, at his peak, was a top 5 receiver in the NFL.
It's never been about, not being great for A.J. Green. Now, we can all agree with that. It's all about health.
Right. Can he stay healthy? Right.
The best 100%. Ability for him is availability. If he can stay on the field, he will be productive. That's just the way he is. But
yeah, and I think him being a number 2 receiver is big. So I think that if Arizona could figure out what they're going to do in the backfield, right? But
it's a mess.
No idea what's going on with Kenyon Drake. They could be talking about Chris Carson. They've got a bunch of options for a running back. But other than that, I mean, where's the big hole? There's not really. Could they use a corner? Yeah, probably. But a corner, maybe an interior offensive lineman. Didn't they get Rodney Hudson today?
Yeah, for a third and a 7th rounder.
Yeah, they got Rodney Hudson. He's an all-pro center. There.
Hassan Riddick signed a 1-year, $8 million deal with the Panthers.
Okay.
All right, so they lost Hassan Reddick. But again,
they're getting Chandler
you're
Jones
replacing Hassan Reddick with J.J. Watt. I think that's an upgrade.
And listen, and when you talk about Chandler Jones and J.J. Watt.
Yeah. But it's health. It comes down to their health, though. Because now they got a bunch of guys. You look at Kyler Murray. Look how he struggled down the stretch after that shoulder injury. Will he be able to bounce back and stay healthy throughout the year? Because it's going to go through him eventually at the end of the day. I mean,
he's a small guy, Ryan. I don't know. I don't know if he can be able to deal with the rigors and the physicality of the NFL for a long stretch, man. I can't see Kyler Murray being a 20-year veteran in the NFL. I don't see that. I just don't. I think he's going to have a good career.
Yeah.
But I just think that his size is going to limit him. I really do. I
like him. I like him a lot.
I love him. I think he's great to watch. I mean,
yeah, he's fun to watch. But it's I just don't see Mike. I don't see physically how that guy can be able to do it year in and year out. I just don't, man.
Well, look, I mean, if you're going based on size, then yeah, I guess that's, you can make the argument that, all right, if he gets hit too much, then
that's what I'm
he's not going to last.
I'm not basing it on ability. I'm just talking about the actual, the wear and tear.
Here's the thing. I am going to, until he does it, I am going to keep saying that Kyler Murray should be favored to win MVP because I think he's that. He's that kind of player. I mean, think about it.
I agree.
Kyler Murray is probably the second fastest quarterback in the NFL next to Lamar Jackson.
Not
right?
probably. He is. Yeah.
He is. Okay. So he's the second fastest quarterback in the NFL. He runs like the wind. The guy's he's little. His legs move incredibly fast.
He looks like a little kid that's running with adults. That's what he looks like.
That's right. It's unbelievable. It's like when you chase your child around the yard,
exactly.
But you can't catch them because they're too damn fast.
Right.
But on top of that, the guy completed 67% of his throws last year and threw for 4,000 yards.
Yep. And a lot of them down the field too.
And they just added A.J. Green. This is not. I'm telling you, man. I said this from the beginning. Barry, you know this. Matt, you know this. I think Arizona's the favorite to win the division next year. I do. Ooh. That's a good roster. That's a good roster with a good quarterback. I think they have the second best quarterback in the division next to Russell Wilson. And that's because, look, Seattle, I think, is going down. I think the Rams are going to have to fix a bunch of things before the offseason ends because they're way over the cap. I mean, they just had to trade Michael Brockers. So they just gave Leonard Floyd like $20 million a year.
Why?
They gave – they're giving out contracts like nobody's business. And I'm not sure Matt Stafford is that much of an upgrade over Jared Goff. And now you're looking at San Francisco. Their quarterback can't stay healthy.
Okay? Matt Stafford is a saint. You watch your mouth. He's going to be an MVP candidate this year. You watch your mouth.
Oh, Jesus. Jeez.
I don't know.
Clutch. You got to check this dude, man.
Hey, Barry, look, man. We agree on a lot of stuff, but Matt Stafford, MVP, I don't see it. I don't see
Sean
it.
McVay. Sean McVay, he has weapons. He got weapons over there, baby. Cooper Kupp. Reynolds.
But he's gonna get hurt. Who else is there?
Robert,
I like Robert
Cooper
Woods.
Kupp's gonna
Robert
miss
Woods is
7
nice.
games.
Robert Woods is good, but
I'm taking bets right now. Matt Stafford, I'm calling it right now. Matt Stafford is going to lead the Rams.
Okay, I'm home right now.
11-5 record.
No, my God.
He's going to pass for 47.
11-5.
I can't wait for them to go 9-7.
I'm not done. 4,700 yards, 37 touchdowns, and 12 points.
What?
So when was the last season Stafford had that?
Wait, are we talking about in real life or Madden 22? Or
right now.
Madden 22 when it comes out.
Matt, write it down. Write it down, Matt.
Hold on.
Write it down.
The most amount of yards Matt Stafford had in a single season was in 2012 when he had 4,967 yards.
No,
It's
that's
possible.
2011. 2011.
2011. That's a long time ago.
5,000 yards in 2011.
5,038 yards.
He is going to have a revamp season. Don't call it a
5,038
comeback.
yards and
Matt
41
Stafford,
touchdowns.
4,700
Good God.
yards, 37 touchdowns, 12 picks.
But he had Megatron then.
Stafford
Hey,
balled
he
out
got
in
Cooper Kupp
2011.
now.
Good
He had
Lord.
Megatron then. So, I mean, he's not a bum, but MVP candidate? Nah. Not in that division. He's going to be running for his life, dude. Like, I think we can all agree that division has probably the best collection of edge rushers out of any division. I mean,
Jones, Watt, Donald.
Matt Stafford
on his team. Donald's on his team.
Right. So, good luck. I mean, I bless him. He's going to have a great time in L.A. I'm from L.A., but, like, look, I don't know, man. I just don't see that. And I know you're going because probably because he's a Texas boy. I don't know what the connection or the love infatuation is.
I love him. Okay, I love the man. Love the man. Hell of a quarterback.
All right, what about losers?
Yeah, okay.
Who's lost?
The biggest
Titans.
loser to me. No, I wouldn't even say that. I got the Eagles. The Eagles are the biggest losers. They have no money to spend. Big losers.
And they did lose.
I would say the Saints. The Saints are in that argument too because they can't sign anybody. They're having to jettison everybody off their roster at this point. So
I think let's see. 6 million said that Houston. I think the Texans. They've signed some good guys, man. I'm not
Teddy
Tyrod
Taylor.
Yeah, they got Tyrod Taylor, who's
Texans
big trust.
Yeah.
The Texans have made the most useless signings in free agency so far, man.
Mm-hmm.
Like they signed a guy. Like, come on, but
come on, man. Okay. You don't like big trust?
So Tyrod Taylor wasn't
a
solid
big trust, but like,
come on, man.
Biggest loser. I think by far this offseason, by far, nobody even close, is the Chicago Bears.
Oh
yes.
Right now, it's the Chicago Bears.
They didn't get the quarterback. They didn't get their quarterback.
They did. Not only did they. Worse than the Eagles. Not only did they not get a quarterback, they signed Andy Dalton.
Yeah.
Get this. The Bears are going to pay this season, unless something miraculous happens between now and week 1. Okay? The Bears this season will be paying $32 million at the quarterback position this year, and it's Andy Dalton and Nick Foles.
Hold on. I just want to say something. I want to say something to you, Mike. Don't disrespect the Red Rifle. All right? Don't do it.
Listen.
Don't do it.
Listen, I'm just saying. Andy Dalton. I like Andy Dalton.
Once you don the star, it's personal.
How much better? Seriously, God's honest truth. God's honest truth. Honest question. How much better is Andy Dalton than Mitch Trubisky? At all?
Much better. Much better.
Oh, stop. Stop.
Much better.
Who do you think's who's the loser
won
games?
Matt? The biggest. I said the Tennessee Titans. They lost Johnny Smith, Corey Davis, and they overpaid for Bud Dupree.
Yeah.
I don't disagree with that. They cut Adoree Jackson.
Malcolm Butler. There's rumors about Malcolm Butler leaving.
No, didn't they cut him? I thought they cut Malcolm Butler.
Bad.
All right, fellas, we gotta switch gears. We gotta talk about a little uncomfortable situation here that's going on in Houston. How convenient! All even live, exactly. That's what we do here. All even live. How convenient that Deshaun Watson has this situation come about right now. What are your thoughts on this? Does it have legs? And this has turned into a clusterfuck. It really has.
Yeah.
See,
Like,
this is
who
like,
wants to tackle this first?
I want to make a comparison first. I don't know, Clutch. I don't know if you follow hockey too closely, but
I do.
Something recently just happened with the Rangers that immediately, to me, mirrors this situation. So,
Right.
The Rangers signed Artemi Panarin last year. He's one of the best players in hockey. He's a Rangers' best player. He's from Russia originally, and he's very vocally outspoken against Vladimir Putin. That's a known thing, that he's very vocally against Vladimir Putin. Now, this season, recently, a couple of weeks ago, Artemi Panarin was accused of the similar allegations to Watson that happened when he was back in Russia when he was 18, right? So this article was leaked back in Russia, back when he was playing for the KHL. This article was leaked by his former KHL coach, who is an outspoken, known Putin fanatic, someone who endorses Putin vocally, right? So everyone immediately dismissed it like, oh, it's a hit job, it's a character assassination, it's this, it's that, whatever. The situation has since dissolved and no truth ever became of it. So this guy, who apparently who's paying, this lawyer in Houston who's paying for the billboards and everything, who is apparently Cal McNair's neighbor, is the guy that's taking this case on for Watson at a time like this.
Like I said, how convenient. It is very sus.
Yeah. I hear what you're saying, Matt, and you know, I think time will tell whether or not I agree with you, but I don't want to be the guy that says, "Oh, everybody's making this whole thing up," like everybody's making it up right now. Right? I don't want to be the guy that says that, and then we find out that there's truth to it. So I don't want to jump to a conclusion yet. But the thing that I will say is that you're 100% right, Barry. Okay, it is very convenient that right now this is going on with Deshaun Watson.
How convenient.
And do not be surprised. Do not be surprised if this is a ploy. That's all I'm saying. Listen, again, I don't know how much further we can go with it because again, we don't know any details. Listen, I know people who work in Houston. I know people who have talked to Deshaun Watson at length, and I just can't imagine that Deshaun Watson is that kind of person.
Right.
I just can't. And maybe, listen, I could be totally wrong.
I'm just saying,
from the experiences that I've shared with certain people, Deshaun Watson is like a poster child for good character in the NFL. He just is. Okay, he's what you want your quarterback to be. And that's $6 million brought up another one. Ezekiel Elliott, that was another one. But here's the thing with these cases too. Okay, even if this thing just kind of fizzes away, right? You have no idea whether or not there's truth to it or not, because honestly, what happens behind closed doors? I mean,
you don't know.
Watson could say, you know, like, cut this. Here's $200,000.
Right.
Go away. Like it's perfectly plausible that that's the case too. So again, I don't want to jump to a conclusion, but Barry, I do think that there's some interesting patterns here.
Yeah,
as to what you're referring to.
You got any thoughts on this, Ryan?
Yeah, like what Guido was saying, yeah, we don't know the full extent of the details, so you can't really speculate, obviously. But I will say this: it when you go against the establishment in such a way that Deshaun Watson is doing so, you know, you and I have talked about it. I'm not really like in agreement with how he's gone about doing it. But now they're going to start attacking him, and the best way to do that is to attack his character. And once you start doing that, people start getting off your boat. They start getting off your ship because now they think you're some type of like sexual predator. And especially in this day and age with this cancel culture that we have in our culture, that it could easily go sideways for him, and they're going to push him into a position where he's just going to have to just shut up and play, or just flat out just sit out and move on in his life, because it sucks to see this happen to a bright guy like this. I think he's a tremendous talent, and like Guido said, like, he is a model citizen, especially to see somebody that you do want as your quarterback for whatever team that you choose, that you cheer for. But it's sad that it's come to this. I don't even know what else to say. Is it convenient? Yeah, it's convenient, and that's why the Texans are like, yeah, we're cool. Like, yeah, he's gonna be our quarterback, because they know what they're gonna do to this guy. So it's just sad.
So here's my spin on it.
Right.
It's like I said, it feels very convenient. But my thing is this: say this, nothing comes about it. You know, it's all BS.
Right.
And do you think that the NFL deserves to or should do an internal investigation on that organization? Because
what do you mean?
What I'm saying is that, to me, I've read some tea leaves. I've talked to a few people. Something's going on behind the scenes in that organization. There's something up, and I don't know. I don't want to say anything early, but if they're operating on some nefarious terms, the NFL may have to step in and do an internal investigation, because if there's some bullshit behind the scenes, they may have to pull a Don Sterling and end up putting this team up for sale if it's that bad.
You know, Barry, I just don't know if I would believe that the Texans themselves.
I'm not accusing them. I'm just saying, what if?
I'm not saying it's crazy. I'm saying that I don't see the benefit of it. Like, why would the Texans want to take away value from their own player who definitely doesn't want to play? Like, if anything, the Texans, I thought the Texans, as much as they, look kind of foolish, they're kind of playing the situation correctly, only because they're saying, listen, they are making it look like they want Deshaun so bad that it's making the league say, well, we want him even more. You can't take care of him, I can. Like, you're by throwing this out there, and again, this is entirely speculation, but like, let's say, for instance, that the Texans were responsible for something like this. Okay, it's nothing but negative effect. They're devaluing their own asset. Like, it doesn't make any sense.
Right, they're devaluing their own asset, but maybe they're just dumb. Maybe they're just dumb. Like, there's a lot of guys that own things that are not too smart. And
I get it, but you know what? These guys make a lot of money in Houston.
Right, Mike. But
like the guys that own the team are millionaires. I mean, not a lot of times do idiots become millionaires.
But here's my thing. When someone tells a billionaire no, it's personal.
Oh, it's a problem.
Deshaun Watson is literally telling them, I don't give a shit about your money. I don't give a shit about your starting position. I don't give a shit about your organization. I'm saying no to y'all. I don't give a shit about what black coach you hire, who you bring in here. I'm done. Right. You don't say no to a billionaire is what I'm telling you. It's personal to them. So for them, it may be like, now we have to destroy this man. We got to destroy him because it makes us feel better, because we got to get back on top. That's not a crazy scenario. It really isn't.
It's like evil mafia level type stuff, dude. Like,
that's, all right.
I don't
Things
know.
happen, bro.
That's the NFL. The NFL is a mob, literally. Like,
it's
they're
the good old boy league.
What a situation, though. This is perplexing. Very odd.
If it was the NBA, I think the NBA would look more into it, because obviously the NBA is more of a player-driven league. But the NFL, they don't care. They're making billions of dollars.
I'm with you. Right, Carson Palmer, good point, 60 million. Carson Palmer dealt with the same nonsense. He said, okay, I'm going to retire. I'm going to retire.
That's all you can do.
So, okay.
Hey, but I got to run, man. I got my show in about an hour. I got to get ready for that. But hey, appreciate you guys, man. Keep up the good work, you guys.
Be good, man. Thank you.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yeah, man. That is a strange situation, fellas. Like, it just, like I said, it doesn't feel right. You know what I'm saying? Like, there's just something that's like, every time I read something, every time I read an article, every time I hear somebody speak, I'm just like, something's up, man. Something's up. It just doesn't feel like a regular football story. You know what I'm saying? It feels deeper than that. But switching gears, the NBA. What are your thoughts on what's going on with obviously we talk about the Lakers ad nauseum, but remember what I told you, Mike, when we first had this conversation a few weeks back, that AD was going to be out more like 6 to 8 weeks, more than their 2 to 4 week period. Well, guess what? We're approaching 6 to 8.
Yeah.
We're approaching 6 to 8. That calf injury, it's not a calf injury. It's not.
Yeah, if AD's not there, the Lakers are in trouble.
Yeah.
They're in trouble. Yeah. You know, I think the Lakers could probably still even get to the finals without AD, but they're not winning the finals without AD.
Right. Matt, what are your thoughts on the Lakers?
Yeah, exactly. Especially now with the rise of the Nets. I mean, the Nets are the team to fear, not even just in the East, but in the entire NBA now. So I think if AD doesn't come back in time healthy, they're pretty much done for. I don't think a sane person would pick the Lakers over a fully healthy Brooklyn team. I mean, I get the whole not betting against LeBron thing, but I mean, come on.
I'm that crazy man. I'm still picking my Lakers.
That's fine. It's not crazy, but
you're such a homer.
I don't know.
You're such a homer.
You're gonna call me a homer.
You can't watch the Lakers right now and say, "Yeah, I got them beating the Nets." No way.
Hey, we beat the hell out of Golden State, man. We beat the hell out of Golden State
right now. Are so clearly the best team in the NBA right now. Without Anthony Davis with the Lakers right now, the Nets are clearly the best team in the NBA.
I am sick of the fence riding, okay? Everybody's a prisoner of the moment. I don't care about regular season. I don't. It's nonsense.
I know.
Playoffs matter. Playoffs matter.
Okay. Who do you have winning the national championship?
Huh?
Who do you have winning the national championship? What's your bracket?
Well, honestly, bro, I have been so down on college basketball this year.
Tell me you didn't make a bracket.
I didn't make a bracket.
I didn't make a bracket.
What's wrong with you?
I told you, I'm not interested this year, bro. College basketball.
Who cares? You make one anyway.
For what?
To see if you can win money.
That means I would have to watch, right? I don't want to watch.
No. You guess every game.
I guess every game.
That's what you do. You guess every single game.
I like to be invested. I like to know what I'm talking about.
I haven't watched much college basketball either this year, and I still made a bracket. My fiance made a bracket.
You have a gambling problem.
I don't have a gambling. I don't think I have ever. No, I'm sorry. I've gambled on sports like twice in my whole life.
Yeah, it sounds like you have a gambling problem, dude.
Yeah.
I actually don't. I actually really don't.
Anybody who gamble, literally pinpoint like a couple of times that they've done something, they have a problem. I'm not a gambler. Come on.
No, if I came on here saying, I do it every now and again, then I'd have a problem. But I actually never do it. I don't even really know how.
Bro, I listen, I know Michigan is everybody's darling right now. But I ain't gonna lie to you. If I'm gonna pick a dark horse team to make a run, it's gonna be OK State.
Why do you like Oak State?
Because they had Cade Cunningham.
Yeah.
The kid can put up 40, and in a 1-game tournament for a guy that can be able to give you 40. That is a big.
Cade Cunningham is the undeniable number 1 pick.
Hands down.
Undeniable number 1 pick. I don't care. I don't care who has it. I don't care. I don't care if your team has 7 point guards. You're taking Cade.
He is phenomenal. Now
he is ridiculous.
I don't know what he's going to be at the next level, but in college he is the man. The man.
Oak State is. Hang on. Let me see.
And the fact that Duke didn't make the tournament, you think I really care, Mike?
Well, Duke didn't make the tournament because
a walk-on got COVID.
A walk-on got COVID, and their
No.
athletic director said, no, thanks.
Duke didn't make the tournament because Coach K shit the bed on this one-and-done nonsense. And the AD...
Oh, my God. Will you stop it?
That's what it is.
Duke would have made the tournament. Duke would have made the tournament.
They would have made the tournament. They would have been a 12th seed. They would have been a 12th seed.
Okay. They weren't good this year.
So you think the AD of Duke University was going to be happy with them being a 12 seed? No, I'd rather sit out. I think
the AD of Duke would just put them in the tournament anyway. Who cares?
I would rather sit out. Duke was not Duke this year. They look like St. John's.
Okay, hang on. Hang on. So let's look at this for a minute. Okay.
St. John's. I'm not ripping you up.
Oak State. Who's Oak State playing the first round? Oak State plays Liberty. Okay, so Oak State, this is a toughie because Oak State plays Tennessee potentially in the second round.
That's a tough
one. Tennessee's good. Tennessee's a good basketball team.
Yeah. Where's Winthrop?
Tennessee's a good basketball team.
Where's Winthrop?
Winthrop is playing Villanova in the first round.
Yo, shout to my man Antoine Harris. Winthrop, they look like they're gonna make a nice little run in the tournament. I like their team.
Listen, they're a 12 right now. That could be a 12-5 upset if Winthrop beats Villanova. Even though Villanova does play exceedingly well in the tournament.
Villanova is such a tournament team.
Is it Gonzaga who's the number 1 seed right now?
Gonzaga is the number 1 overall seed.
Overall, yeah.
Gonzaga is my national champion.
They're what, like 26? Aren't they like 25-0 or 26-0?
This is where I gotta get you. This is where I gotta get you. This is where I gotta get you. This is where before you finish. This is where I gotta get you.
Okay.
Gonzaga reminds me of Utah. They're like the Utah Jazz. You don't pick Gonzaga to win a national championship. It's
Gonzaga had one of the toughest schedules in college basketball.
They ain't winning.
It's not like they were playing cupcakes. Gonzaga also, in my opinion, has 2 of the best players in the country. And I think one of them is the second best player in the country next to Cade. They got Jalen Suggs, who's sick, and Corey Kispert, who's been unbelievable. So Gonzaga's got real players, man. I mean, look, who's the 2 seed in their bracket? I will say this. Iowa this year with Luka Garza is a legit threat. They're a legit threat. What did I have in my Final Four? I think I had Gonzaga. What did I have? Gonzaga, Baylor. Gonzaga and Illinois was my national championship.
It's backwards, Barry.
Yeah, Wait, way to go, smartass.
It says it's Gonzaga.
BYU. I think I have BYU in the Final Four also. I have BYU in the Final Four.
Got it.
Well, let's see what happens, man. Let's see what happens.
What about Georgetown? You think Georgetown's got a shot?
I think Georgetown is a tough. They're a tough-nosed team.
Shout out to Big Pat.
They can be able to win a game or 2. I don't see them winning any more than 2 games though.
Pat Daddy.
Okay, here we go. Biggest upset of the entire tournament. The University of North Texas will beat Purdue in the first round.
By how much?
I don't know by how much, but I know that North Texas, who is a 13 seed, will beat Purdue.
Wow. So let me write that down. North Texas
will beat Purdue. That's my big upset prediction. By the way, I do want to point this out because a couple of years ago, and Matt, you may remember this. I don't know if you were with the show at the time, but I said on the air on my old show, I predicted that a couple of years ago when UMBC beat Virginia in the first round, the first 16-1 upset. The first one. I predicted that a 16 seed would beat a 1 seed that year.
Okay, did you win any money on that year? In that year?
My bracket, no. Okay. So my bracket the year before that, through the first 2 weekends of the tournament was top 10 in the entire country. I had a ridiculous bracket.
So do this for me then. So why don't you fill out my bracket, bro?
Okay, let's do it right now.
Fill out my
Let's
bracket.
do it right now. Let's do it right now.
Look, fan podcast say you got lucky.
Listen, I could have. That's fine. I did. I could have. Barry, let's go. Let's fill out your bracket. Let's go. Let's do it.
All right, come on.
All right. Gonzaga is going to beat the winner of Norfolk and Appalachian State. So you're picking Gonzaga. I know you don't like it, but you're picking Gonzaga.
You're telling me to pick Gonzaga?
Yes, you're picking. In the first round, yes, you're picking Gonzaga.
All right, that's fine. Yeah, I'll take that.
All right, I think I picked Missouri to beat Oklahoma. Missouri's a little bit better of an offensive team. They were 4-2 against top 25 opponents. I think I'm going to take Missouri.
What's Oklahoma in the last 10?
Oklahoma in the last 10?
Yeah.
In the last 10, I don't know. They're 5-7 versus top 25 opponents, and they're 9-8 in conference games.
5-7. Okay, so they're competitive. They're not dominant, but they have a shot. Okay,
Oklahoma is a tad better defensively.
So I will. Give me the higher seed in that one.
Okay, I'll give you Oklahoma. Oklahoma's the 8. Okay, you got Creighton. You got a 5-seed Creighton and 12-seeded UC Santa Barbara.
UC Santa Barbara, they've been tough the last couple of years.
UC Santa Barbara went 22-4 this year.
Yeah, they've been tough.
And they are incredibly good defensively. However, I think they had an incredibly weak schedule.
You said it's a 5-12 matchup, right?
It's a 5-12. Creighton went 20-8 as a 5-seed. They had that thing with their coach, but
yes,
they score a ton of points.
Give me Creighton.
That's a good offensive team.
Give me Creighton.
All right, Creighton wins. Virginia versus Ohio.
Give me
not
Virginia.
Ohio State, Ohio. The University of Ohio.
Give me Virginia.
Okay, Virginia. You take Virginia. It is a 6-seeded USC versus the winner of Wichita State and Drake.
Give me SC, baby.
Okay, USC. 3-seeded Kansas versus 14-seeded Eastern Washington.
Bill Self.
Kansas is a better defensive team. Eastern Washington averages about 78 points a game.
Never been a Bill Self fan, but his teams are pretty good in the tournament. Give me Kansas.
Okay. Also want to point out Eastern Washington has not played a top 25 team, and they were BPI ranked 103rd in the whole country.
Wow.
So Oregon, 7-seeded Oregon versus 10th-seeded VCU. VCU is a tournament team.
VCU is they are a consistent tournament team. That's a tough 7-10 matchup. You said
it's a 7-10 matchup. Both teams are pretty good defensively.
7-10
0-1 against top 25.
7-10 matchups are always tough. They're always tough.
Yes.
Give me VCU.
Okay, VCU. All right. 2-seeded Iowa versus 15-seeded Grand Canyon.
Give me Iowa.
Iowa is – I think Iowa is a real threat for the national championship this year. Luka Garza is a different level of player right now.
Yeah.
Okay, we'll go to the South. 1-seeded Baylor versus 16-seeded Hartford.
Give me Baylor, baby.
Okay. North Carolina – the hell was that?
I don't know what he's doing over there.
Was that you, Matt?
Yeah, that was him.
No.
That wasn't you?
No.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, man. Dude, you guys are really wasting time. You guys got to get on Twitter, man. All this Galladay news is just making my toes tingle.
We're not Giants fans. We don't care.
Yeah, but you should look at it. It's nice.
The Bengals offered Kenny Galladay a deal.
They offered him
the Jets about to go in there too.
They offered him a 1-year
He's gonna meet with the Giants and then walk across the street and meet with the Jets and sign with the Jets.
This is a tweet from Jordan Rannon, who is I just lost it. Who is the ESPN Giants insider, and he just tweeted 2 minutes ago. My understanding is that Kenny Golladay and the Giants have mutual interest. Golladay wants to be in New York and has been pushing to make this happen throughout the process.
New York. He doesn't say Giants.
Shut up. He means the Giants.
All right, Barry, you got 8-seeded North Carolina and 9-seeded Wisconsin.
Nice.
I hate Carolina, so give me Wisconsin.
Going Badgers? Okay.
Yeah.
5-seeded Villanova, 12-seeded Winthrop. Winthrop
Man,
is 23-1 this year.
I like both teams, man. Winthrop is really good this year, Mike.
They're good. They average more points per game, and they give up less points per game. The only issue is that they did not play a single top 25 opponent. They had a cupcake schedule.
And also, too, like, how can you go against Jay Wright in that team?
That's right.
It's just, every time you look at their roster and you're like, yeah, there's no way that they're actually that good, right? And then they end up being in the Final Four before you can blink. Like, it's just
except that one year when they freaking had everybody. Jalen Brunson, Dante DiVincenzo.
Right.
They had freaking who was it? Amari Spellman, and
they had Pascal on the team too.
Pascal. They had Josh Hart. Ridiculous how good that team was. You going Nova?
Oh man, this is a tough one. Like I said, shout out to my man Antoine Harris. I think I'm gonna go with Winthrop.
Winthrop over Nova in the first round.
Yeah.
Woo-hoo! All right, this is my big upset. 4-seeded Purdue, 13-seeded North Texas.
So you
North
think North
Texas is a good defensive team.
So what's up, man? Can we put some money on this game if you're that certain?
No.
Why not?
Why would I do that?
Let's go, bookie. Let's get some money, man.
Absolutely not. I never bet on the NCAA tournament. That's a terrible idea.
You just bet on one game.
Yeah, Mike, you are a gambling addict after all.
Yeah,
I'm really not. I'm really not.
The addict is gonna tell me no. Like, what's going on? Come on, man.
Oh my God, I don't know where this came from, but who do you want, Purdue or North Texas?
You're going North Texas. I'm going Purdue.
Okay. This one was a toughie for me. Texas Tech, 6-seeded Texas Tech, 11-seeded Utah State. These teams are very evenly matched as far as statistics. Texas Tech, however, this year was 3-8 versus top 25 opponents.
Hold, please. Let me see some things here.
Did we even talk about what Chicago offered Seattle for Russell Wilson?
Didn't they offer the entire team and the ball boy?
No, for
2 starters, 3 first-round picks, and a third.
A third, 3 first round, and 2 unnamed starters. Yikes.
That is an unreal offer, and I can't believe Seattle turned that down.
Because they never wanted to trade him.
A lot of people.
They never wanted to trade him.
Guess what? They're gonna have to trade him next year anyway.
I don't think so. Why?
Because I think things are only going to get worse.
Well, there's a report that had came out that said that they're assessing the offensive line. So we'll see.
Yeah. All right, Texas Tech, Utah State, Barry. I don't have all day.
All right, man. Texas Tech has struggled in the Big 12, 9-8 in the Big 12, 17-10 overall at large bid. Give me Utah State.
Utah State. Okay. 3-seeded Arkansas, 14-seeded Colgate.
I like Colgate, man. But I'm not taking them today.
Razorbacks are good this year.
Yeah, give me the Razorbacks.
Razorbacks are good this year. 7-seeded Florida, 10-seeded Virginia Tech.
How was the SEC this year?
Like it is every year.
Weak?
Yeah, not great.
The SEC teams.
Florida was 2-2 versus top 25. They were 9-7 in conference.
Give me. And what's the team they playing?
Vatek.
Give me Vatek.
Okay, Vatek. You've got 2 10 seeds so far.
Yeah.
Ohio State versus Oral Roberts.
Ohio State.
Okay. East side, let's go Michigan versus the winner of Mount St. Mary and Texas Southern.
Michigan wins by 70.
Okay. I agree. LSU versus Saint Bonaventure.
Listen, St. Bonnie's are they are a tournament team.
The Bonnies are good. They're 16-4 this year. I will say this though, LSU averages 82 points a game. They score a ton of points. But LSU is not the best defensive team.
In the weak ass SEC, man. Give me the Bonnies. Give me the Bonnies. Damn that.
He takes the Bonnie. Colorado and Georgetown. That's a 5-12.
Ooh, give me Georgetown. Can't go against Pat.
G-Town going over 5-seeded Colorado. Okay. Florida State 4-seed over 13-seeded UNC Greensboro.
Give me Florida State.
Florida State. BYU versus the winner of Michigan State and UCLA. I'm just letting you know, Barry. I have BYU in my Final Four.
Yeah, you said that.
I think BYU is good this year.
And who are they? You said that they're playing the Michigan State
UCLA
game. Well, who do you have playing that game? Who do you have winning that game? I mean,
the MSU UCLA, Michigan State.
All right, I'm going. Bruins are going to win that game, and Bruins upset BYU. Bang, boogie.
Wow. Okay. Texas Abilene Christian. That's a 3-14.
Texas.
Okay. Uconn versus Maryland. That's 7-10.
Ooh, 7-10's a tough, man. Big East versus ACC. Give me Maryland, damn it.
I think you have 3 10 seeds so far.
Yeah.
Wow. Okay. Alabama and Iona.
Iona's another tournament team. Give me Bama.
Okay. Last bracket, Midwest. Illinois and Drexel.
Illinois. They're a hell of a team.
Iota Sunmu has been great this year.
He is awesome.
8-9, Loyola Chicago versus Georgia Tech.
Give me Georgia Tech.
5-12, Tennessee versus Oregon State.
Tennessee.
Oklahoma State versus Liberty.
Oklahoma State, baby.
6-11, this is a toughie. San Diego State versus Syracuse.
Ooh. Syracuse was pretty good this year.
Can I interrupt with a Woj bomb?
Yes.
Yeah.
So this is a tweet from Woj 30 seconds ago. Sources, Houston is trading P.J. Tucker, Rodions Karooks, and the Bucks 2022 first-round pick back to Milwaukee for DJ Augustine, DJ Wilson, and 2023 unprotected first-round pick.
Are you fucking serious?
Houston also
P.J. Tucker went to the Bucks.
Houston also gets right to swap its 2021 second-round pick for Milwaukee's first-round pick unless it falls 1 through 9. So P.J. Tucker, Rodions Karooks, and the Bucks 2022 first-round picks.
Mike, what did I tell you? I'm telling you right now, that Bucks team with that defense, I'm telling you, they are ready for the Nets. Ready.
Okay.
Ready.
San Diego State or Syracuse?
Oh, who'd you pick?
I think I went San Diego State.
San Diego State's pretty good with 23-4.
San Diego State only gives up about 60 points a game. They're great defensively.
Yeah, give me San Diego State, man. I like Syracuse, but they struggle a lot this season.
West Virginia and Morehead State. That's a 3-14.
Country road, take me
West
home.
Virginia. Okay. 7-10, Clemson versus Rutgers.
You know that song's not actually about the state of West Virginia. It's about the western part of the state of Virginia.
Whatever, Matt. Shut up.
I can
Go
leave.
back to your Galladay news, okay?
I'm currently in the middle of photoshopping a Galladay Giants jersey on my naked body. It looks good.
It looks great with his wiener hanging out of the bottom of the jersey.
Sick man. Sick man.
Oh, God. It's perfect.
All right, what was the matchup?
7-10, Clemson versus Rutgers.
Give me Clemson.
All right. That's your lone 7 seed, by the way.
Yeah. I can't take all 10s, man.
All right. Last first round matchup is 2-15, Houston versus Cleveland State.
Houston.
Okay. We're on to the second round. Gonzaga versus Oklahoma.
That was just the first round. Jesus. Wrap it
Give
up.
me Oklahoma.
You're out of your mind.
I'm lying. Give me Gonzaga.
You're going Gonzaga?
Give me Gonzaga.
Jeez. I was about to say, you are out of your damn mind. Okay. Creighton versus Virginia. We got to move through this because my phone's going to die.
All right, cool. Give me Virginia.
USC versus Kansas.
Ooh, give me Kansas.
VCU versus Iowa.
Iowa.
Okay, I had the same thing, I think.
Yeah.
Let's go Baylor versus Wisconsin.
Baylor.
Winthrop versus Purdue.
Winthrop.
Okay, here we go. Things are getting interesting now. Utah State versus Arkansas.
Arkansas.
Va-Tech versus Ohio State.
I think Va-Tech wins another one.
Okay. Ohio State's out early. Michigan versus Saint Bonaventure.
Michigan.
Georgetown, Florida State.
Ooh, that's a tough one. Yeah, I got Pat winning one more. Give me
Okay.
Georgetown.
You have UCLA winning beating Michigan State, right? So UCLA versus Texas.
Texas.
Maryland, Alabama.
Maryland.
Wow. Two seeds out in the second round. Okay. Yeah. Illinois, Georgia Tech.
Illinois.
Tennessee, Oklahoma State.
OK State.
San Diego State, West Virginia.
San Diego State.
Clemson, Houston.
Houston.
Okay, Sweet 16. Gonzaga versus Virginia.
Zags.
Kansas versus Iowa.
Can't go
That's
against
a good basketball. What'd you say?
Kansas. Give me Kansas.
That's a good basketball game. Kansas, Iowa is going to be a good basketball game. Baylor, Winthrop.
Woo, Lord, I think their run is over. Give me Baylor.
Okay, Baylor's good this year. Arkansas, Va-Tech.
Yeah, here's my upset. Va-Tech.
Wow. Michigan, Georgetown.
Michigan.
Texas, Maryland.
Texas.
Illinois, Oak State. That's a toughie. That's Cade versus Dosunmu, bro. That's a good basketball game.
I think, listen, I'm riding the wave. OK State. Cade goes for 38 points in that game.
San Diego State, Houston.
San Diego State wins that one.
Okay. Elite Eight. Gonzaga, Kansas.
Kansas.
Baylor, Va-Tech.
Baylor.
Michigan, Texas.
Michigan.
Oklahoma State, San Diego State.
I think this is where OK State ends their run. San Diego State.
Wow. You got San Diego State beating Oak State with Cade?
That defense is wicked, man.
All right, Final Four. Kansas versus Michigan.
I'm telling you, man, I can't go against Bill Self. Well, my man Juwan Howard has done a fantastic job. Give me the Wolverines.
Michigan. Baylor, San Diego State.
Give me Baylor.
National championship, Michigan versus Baylor. 2 1 seeds.
Michigan ends up choking again, just like the Fab Five. Give me Baylor.
Baylor is the national champion. What's the final score?
Final score 84-79.
84-79. I'm entering you in both sweepstakes.
The Eagles released Malik Jackson and Alshon Jeffrey.
I mean, that's not surprising, right?
No.
That is not surprising.
Both of them were.
And it's probably something they should have done.
Mm-hmm.
Now, what do you – I mean, other than Kenny Galladay, the Kenny Galladay sweepstakes is starting to heat up. You know, I know you guys got to go. Like, do you guys see a market for Juju?
Like a huge I mean, where's somewhere? I mean, I could see him going to a place like Indianapolis, settling into a role there.
Right. Like as a slide receiver,
listen,
right?
If the market settles down, I think he could go to the Jets.
Yeah, but at what price, right?
So
yeah, at what price though? That's the thing.
All right. I mean, I gotta go. My phone's gonna die.
All right, man. I'll see y'all.
all right,
I'll
peace,
see you.
boys.
Later.